right around the time I started working on the break series on YouTube. My games started coming together pretty good, and so I decided it was time to get out and about. And it was kind of like a test to see if I could still adjust from different size tables throughout the region, and just jumping around and not necessarily looking for action, but just I mean, it's a different stroke. You play on a bar table, it's a shorter stroke, it's a shorter pullback and a shorter follow through. It's a jab stroke that you need to play, you know, high level pull on a bar table. And often what happens to players is they'll get comfortable in, you know, one room, and then they'll narrow it down even more to where they're only comfortable on one table in that one room. And then they get so used to it, and they hang out there for years, that it's almost impossible for them to adjust. So I didn't want to get stuck in that trap. I've seen it happen to many players where they can beat anybody on their table, but they can't adjust, so they can't get out and around, and they're kind of get trapped right there. So yeah, I was basically focusing on that, the ability to adjust, and not only adjust, but adjust quickly. You know, you don't have another few years to get used to a bar table, or a really nice new diamond table, or whatever, you know. So you have to have the ability to do it fast, and to be ready for, you know, whatever comes about. To all of thousands of players who are competent pool players, and they can take ball in hand and run 9 balls, and you still don't know why you're not winning, or why you can't compete at a high level, it's because of your break. I can assure you 100% that it's your break that's holding you back. So instead of practicing drills and stuff, if you use that time to practice your break and to really truly dial in on it and work on it, it's actually easier than ball in hand with 9 balls, because if you break, you can't shoot again unless you make at least 1 ball, right? So if you can park the cue ball and get the 1 ball by the corner pocket, it's easier than it is with ball in hand on 9 balls, because now you only have 7 or 8 balls to shoot, and I mean, you're as good as ball in hand, so you have less balls to run out, and the game just kind of opens up for you, and just everything gets a whole lot easier. It's your break. You got to work on your break a lot. I can tell just by how little interest there is in these break videos that there's just not many people into it, or just don't agree that they're ready for it or something. It really doesn't matter, but I've never catered to the big market anyway. I've always tried to key in on getting that guy with a whole lot of potential over that hump and on his way. It's a rainy day in Georgia. I'm not in Georgia, I'm in Tennessee. I think, is that, yeah, that's the song. It's a rainy day in Georgia. See, I'm a good singer. The break series will continue, but this particular video is a little bit different. I'll explain it to you when I get home. I'm out running errands, doing stuff that I've been neglecting to do for a while. I gotta run in here. Yeah, it's by far the most important issue in pool. And you can take a good player who's playing someone who's pretty much half his speed, And if the guy who plays half that guy's speed has a better break, he's going to win in the long run. And this is why pool favors the 9-ball and 8-ball favors the offensive aggressive player. And because the guy with the bad break will think he can, you know, just outmove the other guy, but it's it works to a degree, but not enough. So in the long run, the offensive player is going to win, and that's why they always want to run these big long races. So yeah, the guy with the weak break will think, well, I'll just play safeties on him and just outmove the guy. And there's a limit to that, and sometimes that'll work fine. But if you don't have a good break, you don't control the game. You might think you do, and you might temporarily here and there, but not in the long run. The guy with the best break controls the game, is going to win. I know you don't want to hear that, some of you, but it is what it is. Just trust me, okay? Dial in, work on it. There's a point in my life where I really had my break working really, really good, so I always knew I could get that back. But probably a lot like you, I neglected to maintain it and keep it, you know, to where it needs to be, and focused more on, you know, running out. This is what it is. Guys who really want it will do it, and the guys who don't really want it won't. I could also sit here and sell, you know, firewood cues all day, and, you know, go and buy my John Disque t-shirt. I would never sell merch. I will never sell you anything. Ever. Ever. That damn salesman. Never ask for to join my website and pay whatever they're charging per month to view. What the fuck? What the hell is it? They're paying for the internet, man. They shouldn't have to pay to every website they see. What the f... Okay, I could really rile myself up about that. No, I'm not wrong. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Alright, let's get on to this right here, current video, and I'll tell you what we got here. Hang on a second. It's cold. It's cold. For most of the morning. I thought it was Thanksgiving. I'm an idiot. What is this thing? This probably ain't gonna work too good. Space heaters are great if you're... Damn, look how... Oh. Okay, here we are. We're in the man cave, y'all. It's cold, man. Ah, it's cold. My ears get cold. My ears and my hands and my feet get cold. And I hate it. I don't like the wind. I'm sorry. It's the weather, man. It's cold and I get whiny. I get whiny. This video, we're gonna put 3 runouts in this video, but they're not They ain't champion level, I can tell you that. There are videos I had in my archives that never really had a place or purpose, and I can't key in on one issue, and therefore I can't come up with a title for the video. You know, it's okay to struggle with something and show yourself struggling with it, but when you're like struggling with everything, you know, it doesn't make a good. I mean, what do you want to title it? I suck, don't do this. Kind of chilling out. Back at the house. So yeah, there was no place for these video clips. So last night I was going through my files because I was cleaning out my computer. Because I have to make room to do a live stream. It takes a lot of room on your computer. With Jake, Alabama Jake. I promise Jake it won't be long now. And I was going to throw these videos out, and I'm like, yeah, let's just put it in, and maybe instead of people thinking I suck, they'll be able to relate to it. Which is, you know, I mean, I can't throw them out. I was like, John, there's valuable information in here that you can share with your friends. Like, I really don't want my friends to see it, so I'm like arguing with myself about what I'm going to do. And I just decided, you know what? It's Thanksgiving. Let's just make an ass of myself on YouTube. That's what I did. Well, that's what I'm about to do. Alright, I'm going to show you the layout and the graph on each table. And then, I think I can show you what was going wrong. And then we're just going to let you watch the run out without any talking at all. But I will, some people have been coming by saying, include, you know the cue ball I put up there and shows you the English that I'm using on each shot. Well, people were asking where that went, and you know, instead of just putting music on the run out, they want more about stuff like that and how hard I'm hitting the ball. Stuff. You know, a shot can, a cue ball only tells you so much because you can put a whole lot of English on a cue ball, but for different reasons than just to spin it off the route. And as odd as it sounds. So that comes down to how well you stroke it, how hard you hit it. In the case of putting draw on the cue ball on a, this is just an example, on a drag shot, it's not because you're drawing the ball, it's because you're slowing the cue ball down. So there's different reasons to hit balls in different spots. It's not always what people immediately think it is. So yeah, I guess I should get more into that. Now I want to get more into the mental game and what goes on in a really good player's mind when they're playing good, and what they work hard to keep out of their minds. The whole mental aspect of pool, because I really think other than the break, that's the number one thing that stops potentially great players, is those destructive voices in one's head And just knowing that doesn't fix it. How do you fix that? I'm not a psychologist, and I don't want to pretend I'm one either. Like a lot of YouTubers tend to pretend they're something that they're not, you know. But I think it needs to be addressed. Impact and positive. I have great pool players who, the second they get in a tournament, they can't make a straight shot. They go to hell. And it's all mental shit, you know. So I think it's a very valuable thing to try to help those players through that. Yeah, and it's not addressed at all by anybody. Except there is one guy, what's his name? I forget his name. Rossman? There's a writer who focuses in on all the mental crap going on in high-level competition. The difference between a champion and a guy that just can't get there because of those destructive things happening in their head. We're going to cover that. Yeah, we're going to cover all that. And I'll keep making clear that I ain't no shrink. But yeah, here's kind of a diagram of the first rack I'm going to run out, but I'm struggling greatly to run out. And what might appear to be a simple run out to you might not be quite as simple as you think. We got some issues here, particularly with this 4-ball, this 2-ball, and getting right on the 3. The 6-ball does go by the 9-ball in this top right-hand corner pocket, but you have to be really careful with it. And I know on the video, at first glance, when you see this, it's going to look like it doesn't get by the 9, but it's just the camera angle and a little bit of an illusion. You'll see. That's about it, but these are big-time problems here. So in the process of trying to solve these problems, I make some mistakes. And the first of those mistakes comes on the first shot when I shoot this 1-ball, and I put top right on it to make sure the cue ball doesn't get away from me or doesn't scratch in that pocket. I just want it to be certain of that. And so in the process of going lower than that right-hand side pocket there, I wind up straight in on the 2 when I wanted a little bit of an angle on that 2-ball to bounce it off in line for the 3-ball to shoot the combination on the 3-4. That didn't work out, and I wind up gripping the rail with draw, and the only real shot I have on the 3-ball is shooting it in the side. And so I'm limited on how much control I have on the cue ball, wind up making both the 3-ball and the 4-ball and getting terrible position on the 5-ball. So I shoot my way back into position on the 6, but when I shoot the 6, I just put a terrible stroke on it, almost scratched trying to get on the 7. But I still have a decent shot on the 7, which allows me to play into the line on the 8. Everything looked groovy until I shot the 8, and for some reason I just put way too much of a stroke on it, wound up drawing it back and getting a difficult shot on the 9-ball. In a position right about where it is. If you look at the cue ball and the 9-ball, that's pretty much the shot I have on the 9-ball. When all I had to do is hit a stop shot on the 8-ball because I'm right on the line. Yeah, we make mistakes, and I ain't no stranger to doing it. The important thing is to learn from your mistakes. See, this is the thing that, potentially great players don't do, and that's why they never get great. They don't learn from their own mistakes. 2. What we have here, Jasmine? Egg. Yeah. Actually, there's only one main problem in this whole game. The problem is it's causing havoc on the whole entire runout. I got a serious problem, as you can see, with this 3-6. And there's no real way to shoot the 1 and break out the 3-6 or knock the 5 ball out of the way so we'd have another pocket for the 3 ball. The only way to handle this, you can't handle it on 2 either. We're forced to shoot this combination. The problem with shooting this combination is you're cutting the dickens out of this 3 ball to make the 6. And that's sending the cue ball straight into all this traffic, which is going to rearrange the whole table. And that's a serious problem there. And we're going to wind up with this after we shoot the combination. So, yeah, we're left with this moment. And if you take a minute and, think about this, you'll see that it's not a simple safety, but I can handle it with no problem. Probably freeze the cue ball to the 5 ball, which would absolutely limit the possibilities he could take after that. But I kind of live for these moments. I know it's silly and stupid, but I mean, it's either make this 3 ball, which is a horribly difficult shot, or just not afford payments on my used Maverick. So here we are. It's make it or lose, because I'm playing a world champion. I don't know, you call it. There ain't no billiards in this video, and this music is kind of cheesy, but hey, let's take a look at this layout, and the object of the game is to put the balls in the pockets. There you go. And when I look at this, all I can kind of say is, yeah, another rack that wants to mess with my head. As with all racks, we have a problem in this 5-7. Any combination is always a problem. It's workable, but you're just going to have to figure it out. Don't do anything stupid and get the right position. Big problem is the 6 ball and the position of the 6 ball relative to the 8 ball, because the 7 ball is going to be in the pocket after that combination. And this 8 ball, she looks all sweet and innocent out there, but I promise you guys, that's the woman that's going to cut your scrotums off in the middle of the night. Yeah, while you're sleeping. Oh, God, I'm going to pay for that one. I am so sorry, YouTube. You can deduct some money out of the $1.13 that you owe me for October. We'll call it even. You didn't hear that? Just pass it right on by. I think the big lesson and the whole moral of this video is don't go to sleep. Yeah, don't go to sleep. Anyhow, yeah, we have issues, and I think they're workable. They're not immediately apparent. And so you're going to have to think about this one for a little bit and figure it out and go ahead and proceed. Believe in yourself. And the trouble starts right from the start and shooting this 1 and trying to get on the 2. And if you ever tried to gain position on an object ball with the first object ball literally in the pocket, you know it's not always easy. It can be very deceiving. So I kind of misjudged this 1 ball shot. And I wind up like this, and I'm forced to go into the right-hand side rail to bounce off to get right on the 3. The problem is this 8 ball, and I think too much of my focus is going to that 8 ball. It's very distracting to me, and this is not the first shot where it comes into play. If I get behind this 8 ball, I'm screwed on the 3 ball, and I can't get out. So I shot it right and got under the 8 ball, so it wasn't a problem, but it left another problem on the 3 ball. I really have to spin the cue ball off this 3 ball to get back up table just a little bit on the 4 ball, and the problem with that is I'm spinning it so much that there is a chance to get underneath that 8 ball and not have a shot on the 4. So it's just like a nightmare that won't go away here, and it's still not over. So I get through that, but I wind up slow rolling the 4 ball. I just rolled the cue ball up just to cinch the 4, and it left me a kind of weird angle on the 5, which is a supercut on the 5 to make the 5-7 combination. And that left the 5 ball in the pocket, which made it hard to get right on the 6, which brings up a whole new topic of what is right on the 6 in order to get to the 8 ball. And a lot of guys don't think this through, and they think they have to use that right-hand side rail to get right on the 8 in order to shoot the 8 down in this pocket down here, when we clearly have another pocket, a better pocket for the 8 ball, and that's the left-hand side pocket right there. So if you get the right angle on the 8 and you don't get on the wrong side of the 8, this game is all yours. All you have to do is stay on the left-hand side of the 8 ball line, and you can easily get on the 9 and call it a day. know what would be really cool? If I had a cameraman or a camera woman. That would be really cool. So they could just like follow me around and just film everything I do, everything I say, every person I play, every place I go. And if they were badass too, you know, and they, you know, you don't like this camera, we'll just go film somebody else. And yeah, just take care of all the hassling of, you know, the photography aspect of it, where I could just live, you know, and they could like zoom in on certain shots, and you know, anybody want to be my cameraman? It's a full-time job. That would free me up to just do it. Just to do what I do. That would free me up. Yeah, the camera and all the editing and all the... I think I could do all that. And I could just wake up in the morning and live. That would be cool as hell. That would be cool. Yeah, there's something to keep in mind. Anyone want to do that? Or any of you guys know any women that want to do that? Of course, I don't know. She'd have to be a tough woman because, you know, people with cameras get knocked around a little bit. People get pissy when they're on camera. A lot of people don't want to be on camera. And your rights in public are, you know, great. You can film anyone in a public, but you know, bars and pool rooms and these things are usually privately owned, you know, and so you don't have a whole lot of say in turning off the camera, and you don't want to be out there in the pool world pissing people off anyway. So she'd have to be tough, all while being understandable too. And I understand, and I try to respect people's, you know, desire for privacy. You know, I don't want to put someone on camera that doesn't want to be on camera for whatever reason, and that's fine. We won't do that to anyone. I'm rambling. I'm going off to do what I do. I hope everyone's healthy, as content as they can be in today's world. If you're fed, if you're warm, and you're